I'm gonna be completely honest. An analog horror from 2012 that is up to par with the analog horrors of today is not something that I had on my bingo card. So by now, I'm sure, based on the title and the thumbnail, you're probably asking yourselves, what is All-Seeing Advisor? Do I look like I fucking know the answer to that question? Well, in order to answer that question, we're going to have to go and see for ourselves. Before you guys watch all of the videos on the original channel, do be advised that a lot of them contain flashing lights and very, very loud sounds, which will not be shown in my video, by the way. You have been warned. Our video begins with a guy wearing a beanie, in case you guys forgot that this was uploaded in 2012. Oh, that there is your reminder. The video is titled, Don't Look My False World.avi, with the following message in the description. Oh God, this is a mouthful. You can run, we can catch up. You can hide, we will seek. We will follow our leader. He tells us, you know too much. You've been advised. Ooh, bars. Goodness. Kendrick Lamar, you better watch out. This is some career-ending shit right here. I'm honestly, in all seriousness, I'm so glad that 10-year-old me did not stumble upon this back in 2012, because I was literally the quiet kid at Vacation Bible School that used to draw pictures of Slender Man on everything. Yeah, that would have been a fucking disaster, wouldn't it? The cameraman seems to be filming in his bedroom, and we can hear him say, podcast number 16. So we know that he's a content creator of sorts, and worse yet, a podcast bro. Everything starts off normally until he hears a noise behind him in the other room. He walks into the room to try and find the source of the noise, but conveniently enough, well... let's just say the source of the noise was hiding right under his nose the whole time. Right as he sits down, you can also see this mysterious little gnome dart to the other side of the room. Ghost enjoyers are probably calling this an orb right now. Handwritten text appears on the screen. You can't escape me. Did you think you could hide? Then an image of the Joker and a bass-boosted recording of someone ripping ass plays out before we return back to the vlog. The cameraman decides to take a walk due to how unsettled he is. That, and of course the stench. Get it? Because that was a fart joke. Okay. Here, the words "Don't look at me" momentarily flash on the screen. Well, quite frankly, he should be saying that to you, asshole. I mean, you were just in there watching him the whole time, like the goon you are. Gooner. And also, these words will appear quite often throughout the series, so I don't want you to say I didn't warn you in case you get spooked. It's pretty scary. Now, after the camera glitches some more and some more unbearable static assaults my ears, Homeboy makes his way over to a parking lot that is definitely sufficiently covered in needles. Here he finds a piece of paper, reminiscent of one of Slender Man's pages. The paper contains the words, "Look up." Rather than look up, the cameraman says, "Fuck you," and spins around, looking to the right, where he finds another evil gnome. Now, I'm not gonna play this part out here in full because it's really fucking loud, but the whole thing gets bass-boosted to an ungodly level and oversaturated while this guy in a mask chases him and the cameraman yells, "Oh shit!" which is basically just comedy gold to me. And then immediately after that, another part plays that I'm absolutely not going to show at all, because it's super loud and contains a ton of flashing lights, very tasteful. But it's a flashing image of the same Joker drawing with the words, "Don't look at me." Yeah, I don't want to look at you because this shit hurts my eyes, but thanks for the reminder. Oh, and he's also making this sound, by the way. I don't know if I can imitate it, but he's like... And that's how you just got #advised. And also, at certain points in this video, there's this weird, like, high-pitched dog whistling noise that plays. I don't know if this is subliminal messaging. Probably is. I don't know. Okay, moving on. In the second video in the series, it opens up with the word advise, some static, and the same dog whistle noise from before. It is simply titled spokenword.avi. spokenword.avi, and the Joker returns once more, quite literally belching the words of his people into his laptop microphone, because that is basically the only way I can describe something that can be easily misidentified as a pig falling into a grain silo. Apart from even more flashing lights and loud static, the only other thing worth mentioning here is the repeating words, "I'm listening," "speak," "spoken word," and "don't look at me," again flashing on the screen. Aw, he's learning how to speak. That's so cute. Isn't that cute, guys? Our next Disney classic is called Hide.avi. Hide what? The body? Seriously. Do you want me to hide the body or not? Yes or no? We interrupt this program to bring you this important message. We are not escapable. And here more footage of eyeless Jack from Temu appears. Just a PSA from the soupy soup department, okay? Breaking and entering is definitely not cool. What you should do, though, is stand about 15 feet or so away from someone in a public space, stare menacingly into their eyes, don't blink, and just kind of shake your finger disapprovingly at them without breaking eye contact. Now that'll keep you out of trouble right there. We have found you. The broadcast returns to our cameraman from before, who is filming himself walking up to the masked figure. You know too much. The part where he starts to run plays all over again. You cannot escape. The intruder. We know where you live. We know where you sleep. A cryptic video of a masked figure standing in front of a fireplace with some Halloween decorations appears, and yet again with the sound of the Joker ripping ass. And oh no, he's running at the camera. I think he sees us, guys. You've been #advised. Don't look at me. In this video, we finally get to learn the name of the aforementioned camera guy in a beanie. His name is Jason. He even sounds like a podcast bro, doesn't he? Isn't this a surprise? The game has restarted with a new player, Jason. And every time this motherfucker appears on the screen, just assume that he is very loudly ripping ass. We know where you are. Die Road. This was not the last of us. It is far from over. We've taken you once. Why the fuck you gotta spell once like that, though? That looks like a shitty SoundCloud rapper name. Now, in case you're wondering what this is footage of, it's just a guy wandering around Jason's house while he sleeps, and he leaves a little note on his bed with a fancy drawing, and he kisses him goodnight and walks away. And we will take you again soon. Okay, well, if you're gonna take the guy, why don't you just do it already? You're already in his house. All you have to do is cradle him in your arms while you sprint to the getaway van at the end of Die Road. So then, Fire King, what will you do? You cannot trust your friends. As far as you know, we are them. If does not comply when we strike next is your choice. What? Hold on. Did I just have a fucking stroke while reading that? And the rest of the video is just them telling Jason that if he wants to save himself and his family or whatever, he has to head down to the end of this road here and find the Christmas present waiting for him down in the old bog, down in the bayou. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. This is probably in North Dakota or something, for all I know. Now, I would talk more about this video and honestly the rest of the channel here, but honestly it's, well, I don't know how else to say it. It is unironically cringe. And very much Mr. Edgelord 2012 coded. Apparently someone made a now taken down parody of this YouTube channel. I guess the what do you call him again? The advisor. They made a parody of him with My Little Pony incorporated into it. And the advisor channel took it upon themselves to make a response video to this parody. I'm not sure if the account that made the My Little Pony video was affiliated with this series or not, but I'm going to guess that it probably wasn't. Anyways, long story short, he hits them with the classic, "I will eat you, I will unalive you, and I will do something else very bad to you that I'm not gonna say." This is kind of where the series loses it for me, in all seriousness, because if this person wasn't associated with the ARG or analog horror at all, then for all we know, they could have just been some random kid at the time. Either way, it's weird as fuck. This whole thing is weird as fuck, but when you think of it that way, then it's really fucking weird. No joke. But even if they were affiliated somehow, then I think it's still in very poor taste to use these violent themes just to make yourself seem cooler or edgier. I suppose that's definitely how it comes off to me. I know people in the comments are going to be saying, oh dude, it's 2012. Hold on, where's my blunt? It's 2012, bro. Oh, you've never seen a 2012 before? Yeah, I have, and believe it or not, back then, stuff like this was still considered cringe, so shut the fuck up. I don't even feel like doing a full-blown breakdown anymore after that. It should be pretty self-explanatory where this series is going at this point. But essentially this video is just the bad, evil people saying they're coming after Jason, they're going to get him, and they're going to get him good. Apparently they left an envelope at the end of the road for him to find, alluding to the fact that this whole thing could have turned into an ARG if it went on long enough. So now you're probably asking yourself, Soupy, why the fuck did you cover this? Well, there is simply all but one reason why, and that is history. Whether we like to admit it or not, this style of content was still very uncommon and almost completely unheard of back in the early 2010s, especially ones like this with such a high production quality. And yes, back then this was considered high production quality. Newsflash. So the significance of something like this coming out at such an early time is pretty fucking huge. Is it particularly good? Well, no, it isn't, but it still serves as a stepping stone towards what we now recognize as analog horror today. And I also think it's important to learn from the past mistakes of earlier creators so that history doesn't repeat itself. And the medium can, of course, continue to improve as the years go on. Now, if I had to guess, I almost want to say that this guy was trying to take inspiration from Marble Hornets, which was one of the earliest ARGs on YouTube a couple of years prior to 2012. Other than that, almost nobody was doing this to my knowledge. Keyword, to my knowledge. If you guys know of any other similar channels that were created around a similar time period, then please send that to me, because I'm genuinely curious as to when the first official analog horror was uploaded to YouTube. Oh, and there was another one too. I think it was, yes, I believe it was username 666, I believe. What year was that upload? I believe it was around the same time period. Yes, so that was another one that's technically digital horror if you want to get technical here, but essentially still it's very rare for things like this to, you know what I mean, okay? I just want to preserve history, goddammit, okay? Let us not forget the sins of man. Yeah, but in all seriousness, I am genuinely still curious as to when the first analog horror was uploaded to YouTube, because God forbid it just be this one. God forbid it just be the all-seeing advisor. God forbid, please do not let it be. As far as the actual story goes, there really isn't one. I'm not joking. This project is completely unfinished and leaves us nothing to go off of. So I'm going to take a wild guess and say that it was probably just a guy's attempt at having the main character get hunted by some self-made creepypasta characters, or maybe even abducted into a cult of sorts. Either that or the series had no strict storyline and was trying its hardest to be edgy, you know, or maybe it was a loose concept, right? Maybe it was kind of, oh, I'll figure it out as I move along, that sort of thing. Who knows? But I wanted to showcase this as a reminder that analog horror is certainly not as new of a concept as we think it is. And there's probably other channels just like this one waiting to be discovered. So again, if you guys know of any old school ARGs or analog horrors that you want to have me take a look at, I have my submissions email in the description below, and as always, thanks for watching.